Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
I don't see why we can't help out students, the next generation.
Right now at 10, relief for millions of Americans with student loans. We look at the Biden administration forgiving some of that debt and how it will help people in Connecticut long after they left college.
Also, Fox 61 has new video tonight showing the suspected Buckland Hills Mall shooter moments after the shooting. We'll take a closer look at what happened after the mall security guard was shot in the stomach.
If you can't trust the teachers and stuff, who can you trust?
Concerns in one Connecticut town after several educators are arrested and accused of not reporting sexual abuse by a teacher. But we start with the cancellation of student loan debt for millions of Americans tonight. Good evening, I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Thanks for joining us. President Joe Biden is laying out his plan to erase some of that money owed. If you make less than $125,000 a year, you're able to have $10,000 in federal loans forgiven. And you can get up to $20,000 if you went to college on Pell Grants. Undergraduate and grad school loans apply. The pandemic pause on loan payments is also extended, but one final time until the end of the year.
The total cost to attend a public four-year university has nearly tripled in 40 years. But I believe my plan is responsible and fair. It focuses the benefit on middle class and working families. It helps both current and future borrowers, and will fix a badly broken system.
Now, if you have undergrad loans, you'll also be able to cap your payments at 5% of your monthly income. The debt relief plan is on the minds of many who've borrowed student loans here in Connecticut. Fox 61's Alicia Machado joining us live in Hartford tonight with what they're saying. Alicia.
Good evening, Ben. Working professionals and parents I spoke with say it can be challenging for young people to pay back those student loans on the incomes they're making at their first few jobs. So they say this kind of relief is welcomed. But on the other hand, some say it didn't come soon enough. Relief for those with student debt could be coming. President Joe Biden announced a plan Wednesday that would cancel up to $20,000 in student loan debts for borrowers who qualify based on income.
As someone who's currently in law school and is looking to be in the public interest sector, it's going to be pretty hard to pay back my student loans from undergrad already, so any little bit helps.
Under the plan, $10,000 in student loan relief would be given to borrowers who make less than $125,000 a year, or families earning less than $250,000, and $20,000 in relief for Pell Grant recipients. The Biden administration also plans to extend the pause on federal student loan payments through the end of the year. Repayment for undergraduate loans would also be capped at 5% of monthly income.
My son graduated from college a couple of years ago. He's a musician, and he really appreciated having this respite from paying his loans during COVID.
But an educator we spoke with who is paying back loans wishes the parameters for who qualifies would be wider.
For people like us who are kind of mid-career professionals, we at this point make too much money to qualify for it, even though to get to this point we've had to accrue a lot of debt and a lot of multiple master's degrees or multiple graduate degrees in order to get here. It certainly would have helped me 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
So what if you've already paid off a chunk of your loans? The director of student financial aid at University of Hartford says you can still get the benefits if you qualify.
If the student doesn't have $20,000, but they're eligible for up to that, at least they're going to receive some portion of the loan cancellation.
And Alicia, question for you. Do we know when that loan cancellation will take effect?
Sarah, we don't know just exactly yet when the loan cancellation will begin, but UHeart's financial services director tells us that the application should come out sometime before the end of the year. To get notified about when that is, you can sign up for notifications on the Student Aid Government website. We'll have a link to that on our website, fox61.com, and on the Fox 61 News app. We're live in Hartford tonight. Alicia Machado, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Alicia. And later at 10:30, our Verified team breaks down what's next for student loan forgiveness and whether or not you need to apply for relief.
Move along tonight. Let's get to the Weather Watch. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rachel, the sun finally came out.
Yeah, today, after 2 days of scattered showers and thunderstorms, no rain, so kind of back to our regularly scheduled programming. We do have another chance for showers and storms, though not tomorrow, but heading into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Today's high right around 90 degrees, and I think tomorrow might be a degree or two warmer. The average high for this time of year is in the low 80s. This is your, typical back to school temperature here, and we're once again going to be above those numbers here for much of the next week or so. Right now, temperatures are in the 70s, close to 80 degrees for the New Haven area, and low temperatures tonight will be in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees as we head towards daybreak. Moving through the day tomorrow, it's a beauty. I mean, there's some humidity, kind of like today, though. It's not oppressive. It's not tropical. It's, typical summer in Connecticut kind of humidity. High temperatures between 85 to right around 90 degrees as we head through the afternoon, and a quiet evening ahead before we end up turning stormy heading into Friday afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted the area in seeing a marginal risk for severe weather that's level 1 out of a 5-level threat scale. So there is a chance for an isolated strong to severe storm. We were also in a level 1 yesterday, and you saw how eventful those storms were, just to give you some perspective. So hit or miss downpours. Some areas could get a lot of rain. Others may get very little, if anything. We'll talk timing, your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. All new at 10 o'clock tonight. Police need your help finding a missing teenager from Southington. Take a look at your screen right now. This is 19-year-old Nyla Tolo. Southington police say that she was last seen this past Saturday at her home on Mount Vernon Road. Her family says that Nyla suffers from developmental disabilities. She apparently left her home without her cell phone, and police believe someone might have picked her up. Her family says she always wears a red and black flannel shirt, a black backpack, and an orange or salmon-colored fanny pack around her waist. If you think you might have seen her, call police right away.
Well, new video tonight shows a suspect running to catch a bus after police say he shot a mall security guard. This was in the Buckland Hills Mall parking lot Friday afternoon. The security footage shows 30-year-old Richard LaPlante running onto a CT Transit bus near the Evergreen Walk in South Windsor. LaPlante stays on the bus for about 15 minutes before getting off in Windsor, where he lives. Video also shows him riding the bus on the way to Buckland Hills Mall at 11 Friday morning. LaPlante appeared in court Monday and faces several charges, including first-degree assault. Investigators say he shot 27-year-old Terso Polanco twice in the stomach in the Macy's parking lot. Polanco is a loss prevention officer and was trying to stop LaPlante from shoplifting. Polanco's father didn't want to speak on camera, but told Fox 61 his son is doing better, but he's still recovering in the hospital. LaPlante's being held on $1 million bond, and he's due back in court next month.
Well, tonight, federal investigators are accusing 5 Connecticut men of taking part in a $500,000 scheme to steal and sell catalytic converters. An incident shows Alexander Callistus owned and ran Downpipe Depot and Recycling in East Hartford. He's accused of working with Bryant Bermudez to buy stolen catalytic converters from several different people. 3 men who collected the converters are also facing charges. The indictment also says that Callistus and Bermudez sold those converters to recycling businesses in New York and in New Jersey.
Well, today is Ukrainian Independence Day. For the past 6 months, Ukrainians all around the world have been in peril.
Those still trapped in Eastern Europe are dealing with the devastation of the ongoing war against Russia. Those who managed to escape their war-torn nation are grieving for their loved ones in their home.
Ukraine's president says at least 22 people have died following a rocket attack on a train station in central Ukraine. Dozens more were wounded after that attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had warned people that Russia might try to take some sort of cruel action on the national holiday, commemorating the country's independence from the Soviet Union.
All around the world, countries bathed in blue and yellow, the colors of the Ukrainian flag. From Italy to Serbia to nearby Poland, hundreds standing in solidarity with the people of Ukraine, calling for their freedom from this war. And that solidarity with Ukraine is largely on display here in the United States, specifically here in Connecticut.
I'm Fox 61's Gabby Molina reporting in New Britain tonight at St. Mary's Ukrainian Orthodox Church, where a prayer service was held today on what marks Ukraine's Independence Day, as well as 6 months since the war started. I spoke to members of the Ukrainian community about what this day means to them. The war is still at the top of their minds as deadly attacks continue, but many of them saying they'll continue to be resilient and fight to be free. The special prayer service, an opportunity for people to come together on what's a bittersweet day and hope for brighter days ahead. I'll have much more on this story coming up on the Fox 61 News at 11.
Gabby, thank you. More now on the war in Ukraine and how the United States is aiding the Ukrainians. The White House is sending more money overseas to enable forces to fight for years to come. The Biden administration's approved almost $3 billion in new military aid. That money will allow Ukraine to buy things like air defense systems, artillery systems, and more. The U.S. has provided about $13.6 billion to Ukraine since the start of President Biden's term in office.
In New Haven this weekend, Black businesses in the Elm City will be part of a new event to promote their work. New Haven will hold its first Black Wall Street Festival from noon to 6 in Temple Plaza. More than 25 businesses are expected to be there this Saturday. The event's inspired by the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was destroyed by white residents in 1921.
Black Wall Streets were prosperous Black business districts that really self-sustained Black people and generated wealth.
The festival is a celebration of new Black businesses, with 28 opening up in New Haven this year.